Hello, welcome back to another segment in excerpts from A Spiritual Ascension. Thank you so much again for being here. Thank you for liking, sharing, and also subscribing. It means a lot to me for the audience that I have to even want to hear my story. And going along those lines, yesterday I was kind of thinking back to the things that have happened to me over the past 5 years of kind of having this nice life in a way, working on Wall Street, making good money, and um, then all of a sudden being dropped into this journey that tore everything that I once had away. And like I can tell you guys my story, what has happened to me. And I think for anyone also who has gone through great difficulty, no one knows your true story. You can tell someone your story, but um, no one knows what you've actually encountered. I was telling someone, that I witnessed 9/11. We're coming up on 9/11 tomorrow. And being directly across the Hudson River from the World Trade Center back in 2001 and actually seeing the second plane hit the second tower. And like I can tell someone my story, what happened to me during that time, but no one can actually truly understand the effect that something so severe has on someone. Anyway, going back to my journey, um, if you've been following along with the other playlist where I'm actually telling my entire story, um, I can only describe those things in a certain way. But you may see me sometimes tear up, and I say I'm catching emotions right now, just because all those things are kind of happening, and in one way, it's really good for me because it's a healing. Um, I can write it down. I do journaling, but when I actually speak about it, and I'm speaking to you guys about it, you guys are the first ones that I'm telling this story to. Um, it's a release. Okay. We just went through eclipse, right? The full moon in Pisces eclipse, and that's a total releasing also. So maybe that's why I'm in this energy. I'm just feeling really different the last couple of days. Anyway, going down my rabbit hole as I usually do, one thought leads to another thought, to another thought. And sometimes things will happen, and I'm like, how did I end up on this path? Like, this is crazy, that I chose to do this in this lifetime. Some of the just craziest things that have happened to me. And it's hard also to describe these things to someone who is non-spiritual and they have no idea what you're talking about. They kind of maybe think that you're a little, off your rocker and everything. But thinking back to lifetimes of upon lifetimes, you are here as an old soul. There's a reason why you're here listening to this video, and you recognize, the things that I'm saying. Even though I may think that my story was painful, my journey, there are so many other people in the world who can say, oh, they've gone through worse. Um, I kind of always say, too, that as a reader, a psychic reader, I always, before knowing I was going on this journey, that I feel like I've experienced every type of thing there could be that someone could go through, so that when people do come to me for a reading, I can say, yeah, I've been through that. I've experienced that. And as you go along your journey and come to that point as a way shower for others, and they come to you and need information or want your help or just need to talk, and for someone to understand, and you say, yeah, I've experienced that before. So that's another reason why I'm telling my story, so that so you might say, wow, she went through the same thing that I went through. Um, so understanding, I've said this before too, that you chose before you came here for this lifetime to go through this journey. The reason for that is to raise the consciousness of the earth, right? Um, we can see now, I think back to, there's always been turmoil and turbulence within the world, no matter what century we were in, there was always conflict and war and fighting and sickness and illness and um, people not knowing which way to turn. And then, as I talked about in another recent video about, different prophets that have come to be to help guide those into higher consciousness. Again, you're a way shower. There's a reason why you're here at this time to help raise those to higher consciousness. And you couldn't just, go through a simple life and get to this point and say, oh, I'm going to help, raise other people. You had to go through the difficult things, or are going through the difficult things if you're on your journey or about to go on the difficult things, whatever it may be, wherever you are on your journey, in order to get to this point where you're ready to um, help others along. So hopefully, it's like, again, I always have these, I get up in the morning, I'm like, I have nothing to talk about today, Spirit. And then I get in the shower, and as I tell you, the shower is a conduit for um, information to come in through spirit. So a lot of times if I'm not getting anything, I know as soon as I get in the shower, it's going, the information will be there. And my just thinking of, oh my goodness, the last 5 years have been so difficult. And why is this, And I just have to laugh sometimes. And it's like, hey, I chose this path. And it's to help you along your way, and so that you can help others along their way, and the cycle can continue, so that eventually the consciousness of the entire world will be rose, whatever the proper word is. All right, I'll see you next time. Please like, share, and subscribe again. If you would like to talk to me about your own journey, please find the link below to book time with me, and I'll see you next time.